You're listening to the Geekscape Network.
Time to fire up the VCR. This one's my favorite.
Welcome to Analog Jones in the Temple of Film. I'm Steve.
And I'm Matt.
And we're a VHS podcast that looks at the trailers, box art, and behind the scenes. And this week, for our first Ladies Month pick, Matt, what did we have?
Sort of continued and spawned off of Stephen King month and landed on The Rage, Carrie 2.
Sometimes I really wish I could just be one of the shiny, happy people.
What if you had the power to move objects with your mind? And what if everyone around you, Rachel, gave you a reason?
Come on, this girl's just a skank.
To use it.
Dude, it's her! It's her doing it!
The Rage, Carrie 2, rated R.
And for our first in the land of Ladies Month, even though this one's kind of odd, we brought in some special guests. Jersey Ghouls, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hey everybody, I'm Jackie.
And I'm Marissa.
And I am Nate.
And why don't you tell them what you do?
So we are, that would be nice. We are a feminist-ish podcast. I say ish because Jackie really enjoys talking about boobs, so I don't know how much we're allowed to like walk around bragging about that shit. But and we talk about horror and we talk about pop culture and we kind of try to be funny, and sometimes it wins and sometimes it doesn't. You know how that goes.
If you throw in bragging about dinglings and man butt, does that balance it out?
I'd like to think so. I think that's what makes it feminist.
My love of boobs is definitely balanced out by like the cute boy in the movie. I'll gush about it for a while.
All right. Okay. I think that's fair.
Yeah, it is. I try to be.
We'll start individually. Who has actually seen this movie before I made you three, or us two made you three watch this? Marissa, had you seen this?
Oh, of course. Yeah. I was a sucker for a good 90s shitty, well, I don't know if I should say shitty. I was a sucker for a good horror movie in the 90s, so I was all about it.
So after Scream, you're just like watching them all?
Oh my god, yeah. I followed this rabbit hole all the way down in the 90s, like all the way to the obscure ones like this one, but...
How about you, Jackie?
I had never seen this movie before. I think this is one of the movies that when we were working in the video store, like I know the cover. Mm-hmm. I've seen it and it was always one of those movies that like I'll get around to seeing it, I guess, but never have. So this was my first viewing.
No, I deliberately avoided it.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Nate, I thought this would be on your personal, like, best of list.
He does. He actually has a poster of it on his wall. Don't let him fool you.
Matt, why don't you tell everyone your history with it?
I've definitely seen this. This is one of countless times I've seen this now. 90s horror movies. I caught them all. This came at the right time when I was just sucking up every horror movie that came out at this time. So yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it again. I've seen it recently. I've seen it before this podcast. Yeah, I've seen this one a few times.
I saw this. This is my second time seeing it. I didn't catch this when it first came out. Instead, I caught this after the Carrie TV movie. And like, I don't know, 2004, 2005, I went back and decided to watch all of them. And this one just shocked me because I can't believe I missed it. I mean, this was 1998, 99?
1999.
So, yeah, this was in the middle when I was working at a movie theater. So I don't know how I missed this. Other than our super Christian movie theater might have just not put this in.
I'm going to go with that.
Yeah. Women are evil. Psychics are evil. Yeah. So, I mean, put those two together. There's no way they'd show this.
Right.
All right, let's get into the quick facts of this. And it's going to be fast because it's just, it came out in March 12th, 1999. What an odd month for this.
Yeah. March. That's not like a horror month at all. Like, it's not even like it's not like a dumping month either. It's just kind of like not summer yet. Like, that's basically it.
Yeah, it's like that lull before the blockbuster season.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if they MGM just shoved this out there. They're like, maybe we'll get a few people because nothing else is out. I don't know.
This also seemed like one of those times, which happens quite often with MGM. One of the times that MGM was just like struggling to survive also. So
oh, really?
It seems like it. That's what I get the feeling of. It seems like they only had Bond and that was kind of it at this time.
No, I didn't. Yeah, I don't know much about MGM. And it was directed by two people, started by Robert Mandel, and he left because of creative differences, like 2 weeks in. So they hired Kate Shea, and I have no idea who she is.
She is actually the director of the original Poison Ivy. So that franchise that has spawned 4 or 5 movies now of the...
there's your pedigree.
Poison Ivy. The first Poison Ivy is actually a really good 90s thriller. It's only after that they became sort of direct-to-video sleaze fest, which are wonderful. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not criticizing them.
Oh shit! Now I know. I know what movies we're talking about now. Yeah.
Oh, the Poison. Oh, you just remembered them?
Yeah, I just was like, I kept thinking about Poison Ivy from Batman, and I was like,
oh yeah, the Uma Thurma break off. Yeah, that was. I can't believe they didn't go with her and Bane like traveling through time.
Yeah, they were both so great.
Everyone's favorite. Of course, they put a writing credit for Stephen King in this, but that's nonsense. I mean, he created the original Carrie, but come on.
They put the old movie in this one quite a bit, so maybe that's why they're just throwing him a bone or something.
I wonder if they legally have to.
I don't know about Stephen King's connection sort of with this movie, but I do know that this was started as a non-Carrie script, but was basically a telepathic girl getting revenge, and they were like, that sounds like Carrie, let's just make it a Carrie sequel. And then they added in the stuff with the guidance counselor who was Amy Irving from the other movie and the scenes from the other one, but originally this was just supposed to be another telepathic revenge film that only became Carrie later in the process.
Yeah, that kind of shows.
You can tell.
Yeah. It feels there's some spotty editing in this sometimes where I'm like, that seems odd, but...
There's definitely elements from the original Carrie that seem really, like, shoehorned in. Like, when the mother shows up at the end and starts talking about, like, religion and stuff, and it's like, wait, what? Is this part of the movie? And then she's gone.
Yeah, the parts where they're in the asylum, I felt like this feels like it was kind of written on like a side note. They're like, oh, how are we going to get the mother into this?
Yeah.
It was starring Emily Bergl as Rachel. As soon as Jason London yelled Rachel, I just like immediate Batman flashbacks. So that's the second reference to Batman in this.
There's quite a bit of Batman stuff going on in this movie.
And of course, we have Jason London. Please don't call me Jeremy London.
That's right.
And I know someone in this podcast loves them some London.
She does.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Well, like I said, I can just have them both at the same time, and then I never have to worry about calling them the wrong name because I'll have them both there, and then that works out for me.
Yeah, I never know which one's the one that was in movies I liked, but the answer is neither, so that helps a lot.
Oh, that's not fair.
No, you're right. I take it back. I love Mallrats.
I can't tell them apart, but no, I know that Jeremy was Mallrats and Jason was Dazed and Confused, but that's where it ends. I have no idea past that.
Well, now you can tell all your friends Jason London is in the Rage Carrie too.
Exactly.
You're looking at all her friends, so I don't know what you're talking about.
And then we had Dylan Bruno as, I don't know, Dumb Jock.
Yeah, number 12.
I don't even know the character's name. Okay, so we're done with our quick facts. Matt, you want to break down the box art?
Yeah, so this is widespread across the posters and everything like that. They kind of use the same image for the DVD, the VHS posters, and it is the sort of floating heads of the 90s, but we get a more front and center frame of Rachel standing above the Rage Carrie 2 title with the jocks looking menacingly at her in the background, and just like really weirdly Jason London like screaming for some reason behind her. Well, everybody else looks pretty chill. I don't really understand that choice. I thought it was a mistake. When I looked at it, I was like, no, this is like got to be like a misprint or something. But it's pretty across the board, the artwork for this movie. So
Dare I say it looks like his O face. Like what are they going for back there?
It's a very aggressive O face.
That's how I roll.
And like everybody else looks so normal. I don't understand the choice here. But of course, it's all in this red fire font, and we get the tagline of "Every teen thinks terrible thoughts, hers are deadly."
Wow! Wow! If I needed more reason to hate on this, that might do it.
I love how 90s this cover is.
Yeah, this is like the 90s threw up on the cover. This is very 90s.
Like they're just like, hey, let's make goth Carrie. This should work.
But not like goth, like 90s goth, which I don't is totally different, I feel like. So it's just I don't know.
I don't even know.
It's like Hot Topic.
That's what I was gonna say. She's Hot Topic. Goth.
She's like post goth, pre Hot Topic, whatever the fuck that was in the 90s.
Claire's? No.
She has some Johnny the Homicidal Maniac comic somewhere.
I own that, so.
Shit, I don't know what that is.
You're not pre-goth or
No,
post-goth.
no, I was not.
Whichever one it is.
This movie was closer to Nate and I than you two, because I mean we both apparently know about this character. I own the comics, so.
Oh yeah, no, it's just comic books about a serial killer, and they're really dark but also funny.
They're hysterical.
Yeah.
I love them.
They're really good.
All right, what's the synopsis on this? Oh, we have a quote. Oh, what's the quote?
So the quote is from USA Today, and it says, "Hell hath no fury like a telekinetic teen."
Wow. That writer must have had a really good career after that.
Well, does he have a name? Oh, there's no name.
No name, but it's from USA Today. The letter to the editor.
The mom of one of the actors in the movie.
Oh, beautiful.
So for those who don't know what this, for our listeners that may not know what this movie is about, they just have heard that there is a second Carrie movie that doesn't feature anyone named Carrie. This is our synopsis. Welcome to Bates High School. The lesson for today, stay on Rachel Lang's good side, because this outcast teen has a nasty temper that can't be controlled. The Rage, Carrie 2, is an explosion of supernatural violence, variety, and sustains your interest to the bloody, fiery end. The New York Post. Rachel, Emily Bergl, is just another high school misfit who wants to survive her senior year without embarrassment. But unfortunately, she gets caught in the middle of a scandal when a prank, orchestrated by a group of oversexed jocks, turns deadly. Once the police bring one of them in for questioning, the jocks target Rachel for squealing, hatching a devious scheme to publicly humiliate her. However, messing with Rachel is worse than playing with fire, for when her temper is crossed, it triggers a powder keg of anger that unleashes special powers that turn a funhouse party into a madhouse inferno. This worthy follow-up to the horror classic, 60-second preview, Carrie is more terrifying and gorier than the original, featuring Amy Irving from Carrie, Jason London, Dazed and Confused, Dylan Bruno, Saving Private Ryan, J. Smith Cameron, In and Out, and Zachery Bryan, Home Improvement. The Rage, Carrie 2 is a thrilling ride and a smash. ABC TV from start to finish.
Oh boy!
Wow.
Can't wait to watch it.
There's a lot of words. There's a lot of words on this
Definitely
one.
feels like someone got a good check for that review there.
I hope they did.
Yeah.
Because they make this movie sound like fucking amazing.
That was a writer that was paid per character, I think, there, because that's a lot on there.
We should tell all of our listeners that the price tag in the middle of this is 99 cents. So
That's how much you paid for it.
that's what I did, I guess. This is a tape where I don't honestly remember where I got it.
Your tape is fucked, by
Yeah,
the way.
I know.
It is all over the place.
So I would like to. So when you guys probably watched this on Hulu for free, correct?
Voodoo, I think.
Voodoo.
Yeah.
Or Voodoo? Yeah. Matt and I, at the very beginning when the movie starts, all the trailers run fine. And then the movie starts and the tape is fucked for about 2 minutes.
It's warped. Like the whole thing, just like it, the picture just occasionally just stretches from side to side for no reason. And there's just this very like sad, baby whine sound that is just coming out of the VCR as the movie is playing. And I was just like, okay, so this is going to be my experience watching this movie this time.
So when we start breaking this down, we're going to have you explain to us what the hell happened in that house.
I wish I could tell you.
I know there was paint, but before we get into that, let's go through so we went through an entire month in October with no trailers.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
Yeah, that's a first time, I believe, for us.
A whole month for sure. Yeah.
But luckily, the Jersey Ghouls come on, give us the luck, and we have a whole shit ton of trailers MGM made up for our entire October. So first we started with The World Is Not Enough, another great movie.
My first, if I could jump in with a comment here, how the fuck did Denise Richards become a Bond girl?
She's hot?
Wild Thing?
She was hot
No, she's fucking terrible at everything she does.
It doesn't matter. She was hot like Hansel. They wanted her in the movie.
Do you guys remember the line, I thought Christmas only came once a year? I've seen this movie. I worked in the theater when this came out, and I remember watching it. And I liked Bond for a while when I was a young teenager. It's just like, oh, he's a cool guy with hot ladies. Who doesn't want to be Bond? But I remember getting out of the theater watching this, and we got to watch it before the movie came out, like having a struggle with, this is bad.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to tell anyone.
Yeah. This was, I had the same experience. I kind of loved old Bond movies as a kid, and I remember being pissed at how bad this was. Was this the one with the really good video game, though? Was this the N64 one? No, that was GoldenEye.
You stop it.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, everyone likes GoldenEye because the video game was really good, and then they retroactively like the movie. But the other ones with Pierce Brosnan are not very good.
No, is this the one that's really terrible? No, the next one's really, really, really bad with Halle Berry, right? Oof.
I don't even remember what it's called. I remember the cover. It's blue and silver.
Yeah, it was like, I remember
Die
they were...
Another Day.
Is that what it is?
Die Another Day, yeah, right?
Oh, it might be.
That sounds right.
Sounds James Bondy.
How many was Pierce Brosnan in?
I've only
Too
ever
many.
seen the James Brosnan. No, the
Pierce
Pierce
Brosnan.
Brosnan. James Brolin just became a Bond for me.
Well, you could probably get him in. Why not? Yeah, was this the one where the media mogul was trying to take over the world?
No, they used to have fun stuff, like people with underwater lairs and bases on the moon and all sorts of nonsense. And Donald Pleasance would be in the movie, and
they'd have girls like Golden Pussy or whatever her name is, right?
No,
Oh, Pussy.
Donald Pleasance is gold. Is gold.
I think I'm
Goldfinger.
Goldfinger.
Yeah, what we had Octopussy, we had
Octopussy. That was it.
Yes.
It's
So, but after, I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves, but after this trailer, we had the Bond collection trailer or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
These two trailers back to back is as much Bond as I've ever seen. I've just had no interest in this series ever. I've seen some of the Daniel Craig ones. I fucking hate them.
Wow.
And like the past ones, I've just never had any interest in it. I like it either going full crazy or played more straight, and Bond kind of operates in the middle. That just doesn't interest me. So this trailer and then the Bond collection trailer, that is the most I've seen of Bond probably in my entire life.
I would say go back and watch some from the different Bonds, and because they're all really different how the movies feel.
Mm-hmm.
So you might like some Bond, because I don't like Daniel Craig Bond either, but I like some Timothy Dalton. I like some Sean Connery Bond movies.
I've never seen any of the old Bond movies. The Pierce Brosnan ones, I've seen them all once because I went to the theater to see them when they came out. Never seen them again, and I couldn't even begin to tell you a plot point of any of them aside from somebody's trying to take over the world for $1 million.
Here's the plan. We get the warhead and we hold the world ransom for $1 million.
Oh wait,
I think that's Austin Powers.
Yeah. No, but seriously, I couldn't tell you the plot of any of them, and I've definitely never seen any of the older James Bond movies. So I'm with you. That James Bond collection trailer is the most like old James Bond that I've ever seen.
I never go back and watch the 70s James Bonds. I'll watch the 60s and maybe GoldenEye, but other than that, it's not something I like to rewatch. I just like, yeah, seen him. Some guy is trying to, slice him open with a laser. Got it. And he's, somehow not just disgustingly filled with or with every STD there is.
Oh, that's a thought I've had many times about James Bond.
He's got super spy vaccines.
So super skeevy he is.
Jack, your dog farted. It's the worst thing ever.
I know. I'm sorry.
Jumping to a couple other trailers here, we had Rocky Marciano from 1999. Never seen.
Never heard of. Never even knew it existed.
No, I want to thank you guys for this one because it really did just I had a little Oprah aha moment in that I realized Jon Favreau has no place in front of a camera, but he can absolutely be behind one, and I'm okay with it.
But he was ripped in this movie.
He
I was like, what?
He was.
It's like, man, Iron Man director
he was beefy.
Yeah,
he was a hunk,
and not in the cute fuzzy way like an elf. He is beefy in earnest.
Yeah, I was afraid of him. I was afraid of this trailer. Now, was this a movie that went direct to video? I'm really confused.
I got the feeling that these were TV movies. There were a couple TV movies they stuck in here.
No, you think?
Oh, it looked like it had great production to it. I just wonder if it got shelved and then, and then we had The Lesser Evil. Is that what you're talking about?
That one really felt like a TV movie.
Yeah, that one was like that. Sleepers, right? It was the poor man's Sleepers, I thought.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
I felt like it could theoretically be a good movie. The fucking trailer was just terrible.
Yeah, I know. It was like a teaser that I just instantly forgot.
Yeah, you said that title and I was like, I've seen that trailer. Couldn't tell you a goddamn thing about it, but I've seen it.
But we can move on to the fun stuff because next we had The Mod Squad.
Oh, man.
I love this movie. I don't give a shit what anybody says. I unabashedly love The Mod Squad. It's another just 90s puke fest. It's wonderful.
This would be a fun one to do.
I ripped off their credits for my poster for my movie.
Take back the knife. You can find it online.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be on Amazon Prime for Halloween, guys.
Woo!
I like Mod Squad. I think it's fun. Fun trailer, too. It made me want to watch it again.
I had never seen the Mod Squad television show, and I think I saw this new movie when it came out simply because of my girl crush on Claire Danes. Mm-hmm. But that's about I honestly, I don't remember the movie. It's been a long time since I've seen it.
So it wasn't a blast from the past for you?
No, not as much as the next one.
Blast from the past.
No, this one I have seen. Blast from the Past I have seen multiple times, not only for the love of Brendan Fraser, but Christopher Walken and Sissy Spacek as the parents is just they're awesome. I want them for parents. No offense, mom and dad, but I want Christopher Walken and Sissy Spacek.
You know what? I think a lot of these movies were coming out right when I was starting at Blockbuster Video, so I think I secretly hated them all for for having to fix those shelves all the time and restock. And I'm like, oh, look at this stupid bullshit, Carrie, Rage 2 or whatever, and look at this dumb Mod Squad movie. And I think I was just salty at that time, so I haven't seen any of these movies.
Yeah, I could see that happening. Just putting up with everyone returning these things. And I remember there were a couple movies, especially animations at the time when I worked at the theater. I hated children because of having to clean up after an animated movie. And I hated the movie. And it's not their fault. Now I've softened on kids. I don't hate them.
I trust your instincts on that one.
Yeah,
I can categorically say, no, I've never seen this one. And what this did do for me, though, is it put me down the rabbit hole of what the fuck happened to Brendan Fraser after, the last Mummy movie and how he, it was actually kind of sad. He got all jacked up and then he left Hollywood and now he's on a ranch somewhere fucking with Monkey Bone or something. I don't know.
Oh, man, he's got Monkey Bone?
I love Monkey Bone.
Oh, I wish I had that VHS.
Oh, yeah, me too.
When I was working at Blockbuster one night, we were closed up and someone came banging on our door screaming that he needed monkey bone for his kids. And my manager's like, no, we're closed. You can't have it. I just remember that very specifically. Like, I need monkey bone, damn it. Out of all the movies that were out, monkey bone.
Was it Brendan Fraser?
Yes. He was actually trying to proposition you, I think, Dave.
Oh, and then our last movie was The Corruptor from 99. I've never seen this.
I want to see this. I've never seen this, but I was like, ooh, this looks like one I gotta like go back and find.
The Corruptor looks super cool.
Shut up! Are you guys serious right now? Yeah, I could have pressed stop after the literal beginning was two cops in a world with no rules.
That's because you pay too much attention to the dumb trailer. How many Chatty Unfat John Woo action movies have you seen? Because they're awesome.
At least 0.
Oh man, you're missing out. You are missing out.
I doubt that, but okay.
It's so dramatic.
Well, I mean, did it have Marky Mark with his shirt off? I can't remember.
I have the Funky Bunch for that. I don't need.
I feel like he was shirtless at some point.
I think like 1996 through 2002, you couldn't see a Mark Wahlberg trailer without him with his shirt off.
And amen for small miracles.
Yeah. Tidy whities, shirtless, Mark Wahlberg. All right, let's get into this movie.
Woo-hoo.
And now, our feature presentation.
I'll tell you exactly what Matt and I saw. Static and... So there was a mom painting, correct?
She was.
Yes. Basically, the movie starts with the movie starts with Rachel's mother. She's got red paint and a paintbrush, and she's not like painting a wall. She's literally just painting a red line around the room. And it doesn't matter what she's like hitting. She's literally just making lines around there. She's painting on the wall and paintings and lamps and dishes on and at one point Rachel even talks to her and she paints Rachel's face.
She
like,
does. She
Mama crazy. Mama very crazy.
Rush slaps her. It's so great.
She does.
Like for any parent out there who's ever been painting and trying to paint while your kid's being a fucking little pain in the ass, oh, it was so satisfying. That was for me the best moment of the movie was when she got bitch slapped with a paintbrush. But okay, continue.
Yeah. Man, we missed all that.
Cops show up. I don't know. Someone called the cops because you're painting. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, you can't slap your kid with a paintbrush and get away with it anymore.
Who
It
saw
sucks.
that? Nobody saw that.
Yeah. So the beginning, her mother gets taken away in an ambulance, and a cop is there talking to Rachel, just saying like, mom's gonna go away for a while. Mom needs a little bit of a rest. So basically it sets up her being put into foster care because mama crazy.
Yeah, that's when the movie actually starts for us, is like when it basically goes into 90s high school, where it shows all these characters doing stuff that I never saw anyone do in high school, like chasing everyone around with a recorder. They're like, I got my tape recorder here.
I have that never in my high school were people sitting on the picnic table benches making out. There usually wasn't anybody outside playing guitar, and like all of our activities were never set to ska music. So I guess I didn't go to high school in the 90s.
No, we definitely had ska music and hacky sack galore.
No,
where I went to school.
I mean, I remember playing it, but not in front of school. As school's gonna be like, they always make the beginning of a school day in these movies like a production that is like almost like they're about to go into like musical.
Yeah. It's actually why I became a teacher, and I'm fucking devastated to report that none of it's true.
I'm so sorry.
Every morning I walk around waiting for that big montage to start, and it never does.
I hope you just start like singing and dancing, and then the kids just look at you like you're psycho.
They look at me like I'm psycho no matter what, but that works. I might try it.
Now, this movie's full of bullying and all that shit.
Oh, it sure is.
Which we all had to put up with. But how is the bullying now? Is it like, are they getting on their phone to bully someone instead of like actually...
Oh, they're such little shits about it. I call them out all the time, too, because I'm like, when I was a kid, we just fucking beat the shit out of each other and talk shit on the playground. But, like, now it's all, like, behind screens and fucking passive-aggressive and, like, shitty. Like, it's just, like, to me, it's less respectable bullying because I think there's something so cowardly about the way kids do it today.
Yeah, and like, we could escape it like in the 80s and 90s. We could just go home and like sit in the basement and watch a shitty movie and then no one could bother us.
Yep.
Yeah, like we had our bubble. Like, I mean, if I could run fast enough after school, I was usually good. You know what I mean? Like, whereas these kids today, there's no escaping it. It's just fucking everywhere and just social media and all that shit. Yeah, the kids today, man, they have it rough.
So what we're saying is 90s school was the best school.
It was way better.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, this will just be 90 minutes of back in my day.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
It's like sitting through my English classes. That's all I do is yell back in my day in an old crotchety voice.
Guys with goatees and sweater vests, just being bullies.
Yeah.
It was, that's where it's at.
That's right.
Oh, and the baggy pants.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
As soon as I saw a kid in the background with the baggy pants, I was just like, that's my high school, sort of, kind of, not really. And then we get introduced to, what's her name from American Pie? I forgot her name.
Mina Suvari is in this movie, and she is not even like in the main. Well, I don't think American Beauty had come out yet, so she was not a fucking superstar yet. But she's deep in the credits here, and she's in the opening caught up to modern scene with Emily Bergl.
Now,
And
had she done American Pie by this time, or is this this is the same year, isn't it?
it's like American Pie and American Beauty were both 99, so this was the year of Mina Suvari.
Oh wow! I just found all that out. Just blew my mind.
Yeah.
And in 5 minutes, it'll all be gone again.
Yes.
Sadly, she commits suicide because she loses her virginity to the home improvement kid.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
Which, man, he plays such a fucking dick in this. Like, I hate him.
Yeah, we said it was going to come up. He plays Kavanaugh.
Yeah,
in this.
Ah, shit! I have that in my notes, you fuckers.
Well, I mean, it's not his fault. Remember,
Boys will be boys,
it's-
and
Of course, yeah.
I don't understand why girls just can't keep their mouth shut, right?
yeah.
And next on Fox News.
Well, and then the thing that like they kind of hammer it home with is the fact that he kind of likes her. He is interested in her, and when they pass each other earlier, he smiles and waves at her, but it's only as soon as his friends are like, that dog face over there, whatever they say, whatever horrible thing they say, then he's immediately like, oh, I gotta dump her. I can't be with her. But he likes her, and then they make him think that she's not worthy or whatever, and then he dumps her, and then that leads to her killing herself. So there's just another, boys will be boys annoying fucking thing that happens here.
I never knew, in my high school, we had plenty of deaths, but none of them were through suicide that I can remember. Did anyone play any type of game like this? Because athletes, I was a jock in high school. I was a fathlete. Does anyone remember anything like this?
Yeah, in college I do.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this was a more college thing. Yeah, but I remember the hot or nots and stuff like that would pop up in high school. So it is a thing. It's definitely exaggerated for the movie, but it's real.
But
it's real.
I'm obviously someone has done something like this, but wouldn't you just go home and fucking trash talk this guy, and then I don't know. Well, maybe it is a movie. We've got to kickstart this, so she's got to.
No, you're right. I think that the first thing I thought when she killed herself is I was like, geez, she must have been really fucked up before this, right? I mean, these games definitely were a thing, and people definitely got fucked over by them. But I don't know, I don't know. I didn't know anybody fucking burned down a fucking party or killed himself over it.
I don't want to be a downer here, but one of my friends in high school totally did that exact same thing.
Jumped off the roof?
Well, no, not jumped off the roof, but killed herself because some boy dumped her.
Oh shit! Really?
Wow.
Yeah. So
and she was stable. Other than that,
yeah, it's
fuck.
See, but when you're in high school, everything is dramatic. I remember it was the end of the world because I auditioned for a musical and didn't get the part that I wanted, and I think I sobbed for 3 days. So when you're in high school, this is the time of your life when everything is so dramatic, and the littlest thing leads you to just want to end it all, and it's that bad, then I guess that's the path you're going to go down. But I don't this is not something I've ever experienced, but I guess I mean
I mean, I
does
was
happen.
just pissed that I wasn't worth more points. Like, as a really geeky chick, I should have been a fucking big score, and I wasn't.
So did you guys? I paused when they showed the shot of the rules of the game. I paused it and I wrote down all of their rules that they showed.
Yeah, since then, Jackie and I have been playing for fun.
Bless your geeky heart for doing that. Well, what are the rules?
So the rules are that the game lasts the entirety of the football season. Number 2, the highest point total wins. Here's my favorite part. 3, the winner gets a keg of beer of his choice paid for by the other players. And then 4, they start to list some of the point values. So you get 1 point for a blowjob, an extra point if she swallows. You have to have 5 points per month to stay in the game. You get 1 point for each article of clothing kept by the players. 2 points if it's witnessed by the other players.
Ew.
1 point for eating her out. And then his thumb covered it, but all I could read was point for exotic location. And I think we can all figure out what an exotic location would be. It would probably be someplace kind of uncomfortable.
Like the back of a Volkswagen.
All right, that's a graphic.
I know, she really went into it.
I mean, you get 5 points, so you have to get 5 points to keep into this. This is a very competitive game.
Yeah, so you're looking at least 5 girls in 1 month.
At the very least. That sounds about right.
Okay, so these football players, Jesus. Yeah, a lot more sexually active than I was in high school.
I have a note. Every football player is a rapist.
Well, no, they're boys being boys. Remember, they're it's tough being a young white male in today.
Yeah, especially now more than ever. It's dangerous times for white middle class men.
It's tough being a bully. It's tough being white male.
I think this is where, that the director really shines, because you have a female director for this movie, and like she's just there to fucking tell it like it is and just be like, yeah, this is horrible. Like when you're in this situation, like we were saying, maybe it's not necessarily always situation, but when you were in this situation, it's fucking terrible. So like, like this acts as sort of the microcosm for the fear of the young woman in high school, when they're surrounded by gross jocks. So I think having this movie directed in the end by a woman is to its advantage, because the men are fucking disgusting, painfully real in this movie.
Except for the guy that banged Stifler's mom.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love how he's barely put in this movie, too.
He seemed okay.
Yeah, no, I think you're right, though. I think it really brings a lot to the table in that arena, in that they really are unabashedly fucking creepy and like skeeved out. And the way the school handles it is so legit. I hate to say this, but like my school would absolutely do the same shit. They would cover that up so quick. Like I've seen so many things along this vein of horrible get covered up under the guise of boys will be boys over my past 10 years in education, that it would fucking blow your mind. And it like is the shit of nightmares, and it's the shit of after school specials, and at the end of the day there's nothing you can do to fight that system. And the fact that nothing has fucking changed in the fucking 20 years or whatever, like, is just so depressing. Like, it just sucks. But yeah, I think she does put that kind of feminine touch on the perspective of how much it blows to be a woman dealing with this shit. So yay for that.
Her friend commits suicide. She finds a photo, and I guess she gives it to, I don't know, one of the cops. And the cop, this cop is so stupid, where he's just like, well, what am I going to do? It's just, there's nothing wrong with someone falling in love or nothing illegal. And then someone, I don't know who it is, the guidance counselor or whatever, has to tell him, well, it is statutory rape. And how he looks at her like, oh, fuck, that is illegal, isn't it?
Oh, shit. I should know the law, shouldn't I?
Well, in the end, this cop is one of the people that's like actually standing up for the right side in the principal's office meeting scene. That's like the most horrifying, realistic scene in the movie. He comes around to actually be like, no, this is fucking wrong. Like,
yeah, he does. But then he kind of just gets smashed under the system.
Yeah, because the DA walks in and is like, I want to see this kid win the game, like,
Well, I'm going to talk about this because this feels like an 80s trope that they snuck back into a 1999 movie where the dog gets hit. And man, when that dog gets hit, I was fucking pissed. I was like, don't you kill that dog.
And they didn't, even though that dog got fucked.
That dog should not be alive.
Yeah, it's going to be super dead.
Yeah, that basset hound, no, it's gone. I was trying to figure out, did she like save it with her protective powers?
No, I just think it was fine.
Well, I mean, watching my shitty tape, I was like, did I miss something? I don't have time to stop. Because then we get into Jason London, like taking her out, saving the day. Because how much would that surgery cost on that dog?
I had that same thought. I was like, they can't afford that shit. Like I don't know. Have you guys ever do you take your pet to the vet if there's like an emergency? They ask you how much you're willing to spend. It's the fucking worst experience in the world. Because not only does it force me to face how broke I am, but then it's like my Sophie's choice of how much of debt I'm willing to go into for my dog. It's fucking terrible. And like she would have not had the money. Like just say it.
No, because that would have been like $4,000 or $5,000
at
easy.
least, right?
Yeah, my dog just went in for a vet visit at 7 a.m. on last Sunday because she was throwing up and defecating blood, which she's fine, but it was some type of tract problem. I don't know with her GI tract. But the thing is, that cost me $700. Like that.
Yeah.
So I was like, come on, movie. So this director never owned an animal. They go into a diner and she's covered in blood, and then he's just like, I really wish they had cool music here, like garbage.
I love the garbage reference.
I know. Shirley Manson rocks. Oh yeah, that was believable.
That's great. And then the kids, these high school jocks, try to break into Rachel's place, and the kid from Home Improvement. What is his character's name? I wish I would have wrote that down.
It's gonna be.
His name is Eric in the movie.
So Eric puts on brass knuckles and is like basically just going to beat the shit out of her.
Yeah, like they show up to her house to like fuck her up, fuck up the house, like scary shit. And again, feels a little too real. Their plan at first seemed to be like, let's scare her. And then the plan seemed to just go out the window and be like, no, we'll let her know that it's us. Like no disguise, no nothing. We're like our faces in the window, and like they could be, I don't know, arrested for that maybe.
Well, that felt the most real to me because it would be a bunch of high school morons doing something like that.
Yeah.
Like they wouldn't wear masks, no protection, just a bunch of dumbasses.
It was undercut though by the fact that she calls 911 and then tells them never mind, because that doesn't happen. You can't say never mind, no police, thanks.
Well, yeah, because didn't she mention, she's like, someone's trying to get me, and then she's like, I'm cool.
Nah, never mind. You don't come out here. Like, no, I think they would still come out at that point.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they'd be like, this sounds like a trick.
Yeah. Someone probably has a knife to your neck or something.
This was also a part of the movie where stylistically I was trying to wrap my head around it because it kept going to black and white.
Yes.
And then it was in color. And then, because like, I'm like, oh, is it, going to do that? Is it going to go black and white, when Rachel uses her powers? But no, we're just trying to make it like music video
so
scary.
Artsy. Yeah, so artsy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't quite know what they were trying to do with the black and white.
Yeah, I think it seems to be more like the freak out scenes as opposed to just like using her powers. It's like when it's like really hardcore, I think that's what the choice is. But my favorite part of that choice isn't the black and white. It's like the Frankenstein shock sound effect that they put over it.
Yeah.
The little like buzzing static sound.
Yeah, stabbing sounds, gunshots I've heard. Yeah, it's like, I don't know, just weird, like random sound effects just repeated over and over again.
And you know what I did not realize, I guess since we're talking about the freak out moments, like not to quite give away the end yet, but I completely forgot or just never caught that she had a tattoo the same as her friend.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's very explicitly shown at the beginning.
Yes, but I I don't know if I was looking at my phone, what was happening. I had no idea.
Oh,
so at the end, I was like, wait, what? Just another layer of like confusion. But that one's my fault. So then she ends up, I don't know, hanging out with Jason London and losing her virginity, and the football players tape her. And then she goes through the whole trope of like the one girl becomes friends with her.
like at almost near the very end, but basically to trick her to go to this party where they're going to play the tape.
Now, this is something that was maybe before this, but very 90s, where they take a girl who's clearly not ugly, and they're trying to like, oh, she's an outcast. Oh, then we put a nice dress on her, and she's pure, she's beautiful.
Yeah.
She's all that.
And you know what? I had the same exact thought, because the same plot points even happen of taking her to the popular people party, and then the popular kids are planning to like, you know, do something to her. So I'm like, oh, did they bite off of it? But really, She's All That came out in January of 99. So She's All That only came out 2 months before this movie.
Yeah, let me make a point then. The girl who made her up, who worked at the jewelry store, is in the TV show version of Clueless. And that's one of the main plots in Clueless, is they take the one girl and they dress her up and put new makeup on her and stuff.
Yeah, but they don't do that to prank her.
So 90s. That's that's something that could only exist in the 90s.
Yeah, and before that, I guess we'll go right in. I'll play a clip here of the principal office, the meeting they have.
You're not really thinking of pressing charges against my son.
Oh, we're doing more than thinking.
Look, Eric's a good kid. He may be guilty of some youthful transgressions.
Youthful transgressions? A girl killed herself, Lou.
Hello, Jay.
Sit. Everybody sit. I'm just listening in.
Okay, then. Cards on the table. My boy isn't going down alone.
Go on.
Mark Bing, Jesse Ryan, Brad Winters, and Chuck Potter.
We're talking about the most prominent families in this town.
Maybe they've all slept with underage girls. Who can tell? And yes, maybe they made a game of it. And perhaps Eric can even get proof of that. I agree it would be awful, but I don't think it's criminal. Now, there will be scouts at the game on Friday. Eric takes a fall, maybe they all will. You want to be responsible for ruining these boys' lives?
I think that about sums it up. Karen, what we have here is an issue with intent. Blue sheeted.
Oh, but Jay...
What you don't have is evidence enough to tarnish this boy's reputation.
It's not about evidence, is it, Jay? It's about elections, right?
That is it, Robbie. That is all. Lou, thanks for coming by. I'll walk you out.
Well, I hope we'll see you at the game on Friday.
I'll be there.
When this was happening and the DA comes in and everything, yeah, this is when it kind of, the movie just made me mad, because I'm like, shit. This fucking has happened. This happens all the time.
And like, this is Trump's America. Like, this is just like how things fucking are now. Like, it have always been, obviously, because this movie's 20 years old and it's saying stuff that's still relevant now. Yeah, it's just like so fucking frustrating that like that's where we are now. Judge Kavanaugh. Fuckface.
Yeah, it did. It fucking like really fucked with my head in that way. Like that whole scene, and then even just like when they fucking filmed her having sex and shit, I was like, God damn it! Like, fuck, you know, like it's true. It's just Trump. This is like Trump's America. This is so normalized now, and those kind of meetings really do happen every day, and it's fucking devastating to deal with.
Well, and it also had this like aura of like no one even questions if she was telling the truth.
Because it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's like, how fast can we get this kid off? Because
we don't want to ruin his scholarship.
Yeah, we don't want to ruin his, but, you know, he made one mistake. You know, that bullshit, that line.
But when the meeting ends and the DA's like, okay, well, there's no evidence. Well, you know, I need these votes. I'm like, it's a couple families. I know they're rich, but really?
I mean, the rich control it all, man. Yeah. That's the way it is.
Seriously.
Yeah, I mean, I could easily see it really happening, but
yeah, I mean that exact story is, you know, it ripped from the headlines. At that time, today, doesn't matter. It's going to keep happening.
Well, and
unfortunately,
then, I mean, if you think about all this stuff, they first tried to break into her house, the statutory rape. Then we had, you know, the taping them have sex. Like, these kids are really racking it up here. Oh, that's horrible. So we get to the party. They reveal what's happening with the book and all the points. And her mom shows up because we forget that Amy Irving, who was barely in the original movie, has been visiting her mom in the most movies. Like,
it's Arkham Asylum.
It is Arkham.
Yeah. It's like the 90s version of Arkham Asylum, which is a third reference to Batman. But they always do this with these movies in the 90s, especially with what is it? 12 Angry Monkeys.
12 Monkeys?
12 Monkeys.
I wish.
Yeah, I'm combining
your 12 movies
together.
Monkey Juror.
I want to see 12 Angry Monkeys.
That would be great.
But like, they're always just like all crazy. I'm sure, a real asylum or whatever it is would be a bunch of people sedated.
For someone who works in the mental health industry, I can tell you that was just like one HIPAA violation after another. You don't just walk around the floor of a mental health ward. It just doesn't happen.
The entire escape scene was like fucking comically
Escape
clownish.
by Bubblegum was brilliant.
For me, so I've made no secret about it that I like this movie. I enjoy this film. But for me, what like slams on the brakes of this movie, like takes all the wind out of its sails, is all this shit.
Yeah.
Like I always want to see the kids, like as much as I fucking hate the jocks, I want to see them die. Like I get to that. I don't need any of this, oh, you're Carrie's half-sister, and we got to get the mom out, and all that shit. Like, I don't need any of this. And you could call it Carrie 2 and have it be a sequel, but you don't need to force-feed me all this stuff. Like, this is what, like, really brings the movie to a slog for me. As somebody who enjoys it, this is, like, when I'm like, okay, can we get to the good stuff? Like,
well, we mentioned at the beginning, this is where it feels like it was tacked on.
Yeah, this is all reshoot city for sure, and it's just like I'm sure it wasn't reshot. I'm sure it was put into the script, but the script equivalent of a reshoot, a rewrite day of or whatever. But like it's definitely takes the pace, like the kind of pretty quick pace of the first half of the movie just right out and just becomes slow.
Yeah,
when she takes her mom straight to that party. And then when Carrie is Rachel is straight up just flipping out and like getting all of her skin covered in like
the tattoo grows, which is just like the most 90s way that could happen.
Like what's up with that?
I have no idea.
I love it. I mean, not in like this was a good artistic choice, but just as like a super 90s choice. I'm like, yep, this is exactly how I would hope this would go down.
Is that the embodiment of the rage, like flowing?
Yeah.
Through? Like that's what I took it as, is like, she's coming to accept it. She's like, you know what? I've got it in me. Carrie's sister, like, let's do it. Let's do it now. These people deserve to die, just like they deserve to die in 76. And we're going to, come on, bring it out.
I just wish it was a barbed wire tattoo instead.
It was kind of tribal-ish. I was feeling that vibe.
It would have been amazing if it was all barbed
right?
wire.
That's the only way it could have been better.
My main beef is that this movie copies the structure of the original Carrie in so many ways, especially with like this big freak out at the end. I think I would have enjoyed it a lot more if they drew out, like, if she like learned to control her powers earlier in the movie and she was just like hunting these guys down or something. Like, I think that would be way more interesting.
Like a fucking X-Man. Hell yeah.
Something new,
I think you're right. I think that would have been much better. Because like in the first one, at least you had all the symbolism. Like when Carrie was getting the psychic powers, it was supposed to be symbolism of a woman, like getting her period and everything like that, which I honestly did not know until I read about it. Because, when I watched the original Carrie, I was like, okay, this is really long and boring because it's in the 70s. And then something happens at the end. I'm like, ooh, that was cool.
Well, a lot of men don't know this, but another major rite of passage besides getting one's period is getting their first tribal tattoo. So really, it's the same. Yeah, it's the exact same metaphor.
We're learning so much.
You're welcome. Yeah, you need feminine touch once in a while,
Yeah, and then, okay, so when she flips out and she instantly kills Amy Irving's character, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's like, why is she in this at all then? Like, why does that have to...
And it's an accident, too. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what the hell is going on there. It was weird.
I was okay with it.
I'm glad that they went there, though. Like, it was like, yeah, we brought her back, but, like, fuck it, she's dead. If we ever do a third one, it ain't happening for her.
Yeah, we questioned whether she would survive a second time, so... I like the way she died too. Yeah.
She had it coming.
She didn't even die like confronting Rachel. It's just like
at the door.
She was collateral damage. Oh well.
And then the kids, I cracked up right when they grabbed all the spear guns. I was like, wait, these Republicans, clearly Republicans here, the rich ones, they don't have shotguns and shit. Fuck you. Bullshit.
No, I believe it, dude. I feel like they big game hunt with those things. Like, I loved it. I thought it was such a douchebag way to fucking have weapons, you know?
Yeah, well, I do love what ends up happening to Eric's character.
Home Improvement gets his fucking dick blown off. It is just wonderful.
Yeah, all of the subtlety of the symbolisms are long gone by the 90s, which is lovely.
yeah.
You know, like they're literally just gonna blow his dick off, you know? Like,
no, we're all idiots and they need to explain to us exactly what's going on. And you know what? That's fine. I'll take it.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
So, kids, if you play this game and statutory rape someone and get away with it, your dick's going to be just mangled by a spear gun.
That's another rite of passage for women. We get our periods, our tribal tattoos, and we're given a spear gun. That's something you guys don't know, but I'll let you in on that secret. We get spear guns. For this very occasion, yes.
And then our tape fucks up again.
Oh, no!
At this point, I was watching it on Voodoo now.
Well, I know that the super douchebag lead football player drowns, but I don't exactly know how.
He gets his head bashed by the tarp as it's coming over.
Okay.
And then he's bleeding from his head, and then does she do something else to him too, or no? Does he just drown?
I think he just drowns.
Yeah, I think doesn't at some point he gets because they're both in the water at some point.
Well,
I think he might. Does he get speared or something again?
They knock her into the water.
Right.
No, the dick gets speared into the water.
Just the dick. Okay. Then he tries to get out, but that's right. She picks up the spear.
She grabs him like the ending of the first one. She grabs out of the pool and pulls him in. And then when he's trying to get his bearings, he comes up and he gets knocked under, and then that's it.
I think the tarp death though was something very 1999 because I feel like I saw a lot of Dateline specials about your kids in your pool at this time. I feel like this was a big fear for kids in 99. This was right before the asshole getting sucked into the vent thing. So the fear of swimming pools was the tarp coming over and drowning you. I remember seeing that shit on Dateline back 20 years ago, so I think that's why they included it in the movie.
Little 90s Matt was a big fan of Dateline.
Yes, I was.
So I do remember she knocks everything down, the whole house is on fire, and then Jason London gets smacked in the head by the rules. The tape started to come back, and she was like, "Did you ever really love me?" or something like that, right?
Well, he says he loved her, and then she's like, "You're a liar," and then the tape shows it.
Yeah, because they have to play back the tape of when they were having sex for the first time, and I guess she was asleep or falling asleep, and he says it, very lovingly, "I love you," and so that's what they keep looping in this scene because it's got to be proven that he actually does love her, and he wasn't just using her for the point.
I thought that she was doing that with her head. She was making it rewind.
Was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm not so nice of a person. I wish she would have just fucking killed him anyway because he's part of the group. He's part of that group. He is part of the problem. Who cares that, he likes her right now? He is the disease. Cut it out.
Oh, totally. And he fucking bails on that other chick. He fucking, they went out of their way to show him doing it to another girl and, being a total dick. And then you want me to forget about that and be happy that he lives? Fuck that.
I do find at the end of this movie, she ends up dying, which irritated me because I wanted her to live. I'm like, yeah, she killed a bunch of people I don't care about. But at the end of the day, I don't think I cared about anyone in this film except Zachery Ty Bryan. And it was, I hate you. So it was a joy when he gets his dick shut off. But other than that, I really didn't like anyone in this film.
I don't understand why she died because that, part of the wall or whatever falls on her. But can't she just use her powers to
exactly
the wall not be on her? Or my thought was was she kind of dying and then use the last of her powers to save him? But still, if you can bring a whole house down, you can remove a part of a burning wall off your body.
Yeah.
She's also asking God to kill her too. So she's kind of ready to go. So she's I'll take the wall for you. Save your lover. I'll take the wall type thing. Okay. I think that's what she's doing here. She wants to die.
Now, did she end up killing the mom? Because I have a note that says, "Oh, mom just fucking left her."
I think mom just fucking left.
Yeah.
I think.
Mom thinks she's possessed by Satan, so mom ran away.
So there is no conclusion with the mother character.
There's no ending to that whole plot line. Goes nowhere.
So which makes it even more pointless. Like, it was never necessary in the movie, and it had no bearing on the ending or anything. So yeah, it all just, the mom plot, completely pointless.
Wow, that's just fucking trash. Right
I wonder if the mom too was like a rewrite thing where they were trying to make it more like the original or whatever. Because yeah, she's so inconsequential in the movie, you could not have her there at all. Like you could cut all those scenes with her and still have the same movie.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if that was like another like we got to make it like Carrie, make her have a crazy mom.
Oh, absolutely. I feel like that's a lot of the stuff that like keeps me from liking this movie. Is the stuff that's like obviously tacked on just to make you remember the original Carrie, especially when they just straight up use clips from the original movie in there. I'm like, okay, this is really unnecessary.
Sissy Spacek probably got a check out of this.
Oh, she definitely did. Yeah.
Man, I wish I'd get a check out of just like a clip show. I'll give you some of my high school shitty play video.
There was one, before we kind of wrap it up here, there was one funny thing that happened when I was watching this. I was just watching it, and Ashley was coming in and out of the room, and she sits down during the final scene or whatever, and she is like, oh my God, these girls know about the rules, because like they're talking about the rule book and like the the clueless TV show girl, and then later the other super popular girl that was sleeping with Jason London, they know about it. And like I was like, oh yeah, they know about these rules. And she's like, what kind of people are these girls or whatever? And then she just takes a beat and she just goes, Trump voters.
Well, let's go on to another pointless part of this movie is the very end.
Yeah, that's where like my official vote went to no with this one. That fucking ending.
That was shit.
Yeah, I don't even get it. Like, I don't even know what it's supposed to like mean or do. I was waiting for like I every time I watch this movie, I think it's gonna have like a cool ending like the original, and then that happens, and I'm like, oh, that's why I never remember the end of this movie.
It's just the dog is okay from surgery. That's
yes, the dog made it. At least Walter made it, even though there's no fucking way he would. But when they introduce in this movie that the dad is the carrier of the psychic gene, they also don't ever come back to that. There's no need to know that.
Yeah, it's probably just because we hadn't seen him in the original or whatever that they were like, or we don't spend time with him in the original. That's how they can get away with it, probably.
Well, if you wanted something in this, you should have like had the uber Republican family find that out and then contact him to make an army of like Carries.
Yeah, or let him run for president. Either way.
Yeah, there you go. We need you to get fucking because we need a Carrie army. Well, because then you could have like one of the fathers be like, well, I lost my son, but it's not a total loss because I'm going to have an entire Carrie army.
Yeah. There is a way to go darker with
awesome
the
ending. Yeah, I love that.
Then we get nothing. I mean, okay, so we'll let the guest do the first recommend on this. So go ahead. Who wants to go first? Do you recommend The Rage, Carrie 2?
Yes, I do recommend this movie, and I'm the only one at the table that's going to recommend it. But I put this movie, like, I love all of the 90s teen movies. Obviously this one is not on the level of Scream or Empire Records or Can't Hardly Wait, but I still lump it in the category of the teen movies, and I'm going to put it above She's All That, because though the plots are somewhat similar, at least this one has some horror movie elements. So I'm going to say that if you enjoy the teen 90s movies, if you are in your late 30s like I am and love the nostalgia of pretending, that high school was awesome, then I'm going to say yes, you need to watch The Rage, Carrie 2.
Go ahead, Nate.
No. No, this is a bad movie. This is a bad movie that made me feel gross for the vast majority of its running time, and the rest of it was like unnecessary references to the original Carrie. So no, I didn't like it.
I'm gonna go, yeah. Why the fuck not, right?
Really?
I mean, it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. I've spent my time on way fucking worse than this. And as far as 90s movies go, arguably you've seen all the good ones. Might as well watch the shitty ones too.
All right, Matt.
I obviously recommend this one. I like this movie. I have never really been a fan of the original, and not, obviously it's a classic. My thing with the original is just like a weird personal problem I have. I don't like movies that are shot in soft focus lighting. They really bother me. So I don't like the original film because I don't like soft lit movies. I don't know why. It's a weird thing I have. It's almost like an OCD tick that I like can't watch movies that are soft focus lit. But like I really like this one. I love 90s thrillers. I love 90s horror movies. I love 90s teen movies. This has it all. It's not, great because of the tacked on Carrie stuff. I wish this was just its own. I wish it was a Carrie ripoff instead of a Carrie sequel, because I probably would have actually enjoyed it a lot more, because the Carrie stuff knocks the winds out of its sails a little bit too much. But I like this movie. I think it's fun, and it's kind of nice to see that people are rediscovering it. And now that it's out on a Scream Factory Blu-ray and stuff like that, people are kind of taking second evaluation. And with the Kavanaugh thing, they're realizing how timely this movie is and everything like that. So I like it. I like this one. It's not perfect, but I like it a lot.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the soft not recommend. I would say, like, if you're gonna go into a late 90s goofball horror film, I would say something like Valentine.
Yeah.
Which is like, it needs to be rediscovered by people. This one to me it just has, like, I do love the trashy 90s value of it. I really do. But the movie has so much in it that's like hurting it, just weighing it down with the mother side aspect that doesn't need to be in there at all. And where you had a lot of opportunities to make this a fun, like, Carrie should have went nuts, and it should have been, she should have survived, and it should have been like her just going off to college at the end.
Well, that would have been good.
I would have fucking loved that, because it would have been a total reversal of what you thought. She got fucked, her friend got fucked, so she fucked them, and now her life's fine.
Yeah.
I would have liked it. I don't think they have the balls to do that, though, because they want their, vicious, nasty Rachel here to be punished for killing. Nah, I say, like, nope, she got her revenge. You know what? Men get to live in revenge movies. Why the fuck can't she?
I bet it was a producer thing, like people saying, like, no, we want this to be more like the original Carrie, and like forcing them to put all that stuff in there. I'm sure that's what it was. They
had no backbone, and they just did a soft reboot.
Yep. Pretty much.
So on them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Let's go into our museum.
This is the second time I've had to reclaim my property from you. That belongs in a museum. So do you.
This is the part of the show where we put something in there just like Indy. We go out, grab it, put it in. Good or bad? All right, Jersey Ghouls. What are we putting in our visitors' wing?
God, we thought about this long and hard.
We did think about it, and we collectively, the ghouls are going to collectively, we're going to put the list of rules from the game into the museum, and we're going to hope that young men can look at that as how not to act around women, and maybe turn it around. And if we're going to make a game, make it respectful. You know, you're going to get a point for making eye contact,
or you'll get a point for telling me I look really good in a really big baggy horror t-shirt and my jammy pants.
Yeah. You'll get 2 points for actually listening in a conversation.
And listen, there is one thing I'm willing to keep: the points for taking care of a girl that way.
Yeah, we can keep the points for going downtown, so that's fine. But yeah, no, make it a nice, respectful list. So
that's right.
That's what we're throwing in.
That's right. Get her dessert on a random Wednesday. You listening, my husband? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, so that's our contribution. We're excited.
That's a really good one.
Thanks.
Yeah. I was going real stupid with it. That was really well thought out and really great, and I love that. But I'm putting the gore in the museum because when the shit hits the fan, it does get gooey, and I loved it. The pipe through the head, the exploding glasses, the dick blown off. It's red, and I like it.
Yeah.
Mine is I don't know if this is a good or bad, so we'll just let everyone decide. So when they put in they say like, oh, I wish, they had a good music here, like, garage.
Garbage.
I'm putting that scene in because that just feels like some out of touch exec was just like, hey, what's a popular but not too popular band? And like, I just feel that was shoehorned in there because they're like, we need something for the kids to relate to.
So you're putting Shirley Manson in the archive?
Why not?
I love it.
And it's all tied to how this started with Bond, because didn't Garbage do one of the Bond theme songs?
Oh shit, did they?
I think you might be right.
Oh my god.
I don't remember.
We're learning
Yeah,
so much.
They did The World Is Not Enough.
Oh man,
No.
trailer for this. That's why that
Oh my
trailer's
god,
in there.
it all comes full circle.
It makes sense now.
Quick, someone make a Batman reference. No?
Well, I'm gonna talk about the other Carrie movies because I just want to know if anyone else has seen these other than my dumbass.
Oh, I've seen
them all.
So obviously we have the 76 one, which I know you three have covered, Carrie, correct?
Yeah, very briefly during
but I think it but yeah, that's the only one that I've personally seen. I've seen the original and I've seen this. I haven't seen the remake or anything else that came from Carrie.
Yeah. Well, they had the 2002 film, which was I believe TV movie that's what kind of kicked off me going back and rewatching these.
Yeah, that's one with Angela Bettis from May, right after kind of May blew up, and I think that was great casting. But what a shit movie!
Yeah, it's bad. This might be the worst Carrie out of all of them
because it's boring as all hell.
This was like, which one would I rather watch? The Rage Carrie 2 or Carrie 2002? Oh, Rage is like way above.
Yeah, it's like Citizen Kane compared to that shit. Yeah,
yes,
for sure.
I should like edit in the bird. 2013 one with
Grace Moretz.
Yeah.
Yes.
Another pile of shit. That movie was so bad.
Does anyone like this film on here?
No, not at all.
God, it's what the fuck was this about? This was like this reminded me, maybe not quite as bad as the Fog remake.
Yeah.
It's just such a nothing movie. Just such like air. Just nothing happening in it. The whole movie.
It is like the epitome of complete vapid filmmaking.
I haven't seen it. Did they like divert from the original storyline? Did they change it in any way from the movie?
It's almost a shot for shot remake of the original film. They don't even like bring anything different from the book or anything.
It's almost like the Psycho remake in a way.
God.
It's not like that much of a remake, but it's fucking terrible.
Except at the end, the tombstone fucking explodes because it was 2013. And a hand coming out wasn't good enough anymore.
That was ironically the only thing I liked. So I'm just kidding.
You know what? This film, I think Rage Carrie 2 needed more explosions.
Yeah.
I can always do more explosions, but I'm happy with the ones we got.
Right when she commits suicide and falls on the car, I think the car should have exploded.
That would have been very 2000s, but we weren't there yet. This was 99, so
we needed more Michael Bay in this film, and I never say that.
Maybe the dog could have exploded.
Oh, Nate!
Okay, well, that's all I've got for The Rage Carrie 2. Thank you for coming on, Jersey Ghouls.
Oh my gosh, thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm incredibly impressed with your Visitor's Wing edition. So I'm going to say I think that's maybe the best one we've ever had a visitor do.
That's probably the best one we have in our museum because we're so fucking stupid all the time. We're like, I like the blood. I like this actor because he was silly in it. Like,
yeah, so bravo.
Yeah, nice job.
Aw,
guys.
thanks,
Thank you.
guys.
We'll have to have you on another time when we review Carrie 2013. No, not really.
I haven't seen it yet. I know my cousin hates it with every fiber of his being, and I usually respect his opinion. So
I'm just glad we went with Jackie's vote for what to put in the museum because mine was the blown off dick. So, whoo, dodged a bullet there.
Well, to be honest, I almost put that in.
It is kind of lumped in with what I put in, so I went that way.
So, next week in our Ladies Month, what are we doing? I can't remember.
I think it's Heart and Souls.
Oh, Heart and Souls, yes, and that was picked by a listener who is forcing us to do it. We have no choice.
Well, I fucking love this film, so I can't wait to do it, but it's... I'll explain why I don't think it necessarily belongs in Ladies Month, but... It will,
but it was picked by a lady.
It was picked by a female listener, so that is why we will play it. It is just more about being a man than
Anna. If you're listening out there, Matt almost put the kibosh to this, but I would not let him because you remind me every time you see me.
Yes, so it is in, even though it's not necessarily a pro-women movie, it's still a cute movie and a good movie, and I like this movie, so it should be really fun to take apart next week.
Have you three seen that?
No.
Okay, yeah, you'll have to listen on that. It's an interesting film.
Yes, Robert Downey Jr., 1994.
Yeah, definitely when he's coked out of his mind.
Yes.
He's my favorite Robert Downey.
That's when he really brings the performances.
Yes.
Remember to rate and review us on iTunes. You can listen to us on Podbean and the whole pod universe. Email Matt here on...
send me your hate mail.
analogjonestof@gmail.
I'm going to get stoned and read it. And maybe even write back. We'll see how it goes. Do you guys promote your stuff? Tell everybody where we can find you.
Sure, you can find the Jersey Girls.
Jersey Girls, yeah.
You can find the Jersey Ghouls similarly pretty much everywhere where podcasts are available. We are on Google Play and Apple Podcast and iHeartRadio and iTunes. So just search Jersey Ghouls on your favorite podcast app and you're going to see us there. And on social media, search Jersey Ghouls. We are on Twitter, Facebook. We have a Facebook group. We are on YouTube. And now we have an Instagram because apparently that's where all the kids go. So you can find us on Instagram. Just search for Jersey Ghouls. And you can also find us on our website, jerseyghouls.com. That's where you're going to find our podcast, our blog, and our movie reviews.
Woohoo! So many things. Yeah, we need an Instagram, but we're old men.
Oh,
yeah.
I still haven't figured it out.
Yeah, it just seems more daunting than fun.
Instagram I'll do. It's Twitter that I hate.
I love Twitter.
I don't understand Twitter. I just post our episodes when we do them. I don't understand Twitter, how to use Twitter. I don't like Twitter. So I'm all for Instagram because I can post pictures, but don't make me figure out tweet, quote, retweet. I don't know what that is.
That's good.
Back in my day.
Use dial-up on my 56.6 baud modem. And America Online would send you discs in the mail.
Never pay for internet again. Okay, and remember to be kind.
Rewind.
Hey, everybody.
What's up?
I'm here too.
We are the Jersey Ghouls, a horror podcast based out of the Garden State. Join us on Jersey Ghouls for Marissa's scholarly conversations.
By the way, if you Google Psycho female, you definitely don't get the name of the actress from Psycho. Join us on Jersey Ghouls for Nate's thrilling debate.
Why? Why are you so resistant against it?
Because don't you start.
Join us on Jersey Ghouls for Jackie's love of 80s slasher movie Topless Scene.
Whoa, Jackie, this is a feminist podcast.
I know. I'm a woman. And as a woman, I appreciate a nice set of jugs.
Okay, but you shouldn't call them jugs.
Hooters? Bazungas? Tatas? Dirty pillows?
I like boobs too. Can I call them fun bags?
No! We're the Jersey Ghouls. You can find us on social media by searching Jersey Ghouls on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, SoundCloud, and iTunes. You can also find our blog and podcast on our website, jerseyghouls.com.